Hello, to start our second week class, so we keep going to about our digital forensics. So for the lesson, we will give you some overview of the computer crimes. So mainly we will describe some like reverse computer the crime scenes and then how they are really investigate. Depends on different situation. So far, we need to know what are those like common computer crimes and then the forensic approach to those like different crimes and also the strategies based on the specific crime. Okay, so this is what we're going to learn. So how the computer crime affects the forensics? Firstly, let's say the target, or maybe the people, maybe the hardware, maybe something is possible for the investigation. So they are the target, and then what are the possible instruments. So what are possible instruments we're going to use, like maybe for the saving on the hard drive. Okay, let's say hard drive. Then for the hard drive, what kind of instruments we need to read it? Okay, how do we need some data or like specific for the hard drive? Maybe for regular SSD, PCIe, or any others specific. Okay, and then what the evidence like repositories. So all those. And inside a robot computer is no crime. So we mainly like based on the instruments, and then we try to provide the evidence repository, and then we'll go back and check the instruments. So actually, yeah, can be cycle. So right here, and they're working together. So that's what we're going to produce. And when we talk about the different types of the crimes involving in the computers, we call the white collars crimes, and some like violent crimes, like including some like murders, like terrorism, and then with something with the like counterintelligence, and then some economic espionage, and then counterfeiting, child pornography, or the drug dealings. So all this will be like potential crimes involved. And here we have some question that we need to identify. So for different type, one is called the identity thief. So how it works? For the identity thief, we try to is thinking is identity. That means we are pretending we are somebody, right? So we try to use another person's identity. That's what we're going to do. And most of the time when we try to pretend somebody, that means we try to get is like some economic gains. So it's typically performing for the economy. So when we use others' identity, then people will try to maybe steal like stole their money from their bank, or maybe they will pretend to like doing their loan mortgage or anyway. So all this we call the economic. And then the method including pretty popular, we say is the phishing. And nowadays we see a lot, they will send you an email and then try to let you click on the URL and you will input all your information. I think it's recently, I think in Texas location, like in Dallas, because there's some users that employs information, including their personal information, SSN, all the contents they're being released. So it's a pretty huge issue. So this one, I think it just comes out pretty recent. So this we call the data breach exposed. So I think it's almost like 61,000. And so once they steal this information, then they can like send some phishing email to get the access or let you to apply or confirm certain maybe some loan or mortgage. So we need to pay attention of, and then we do have some like spyware, so they can see as a middleman, maybe they see your transactions and they get a password, other things, and then they can discuss your information. This is all possible. And one more is like phishing. We talk about phishing, so it's an attempt so to trick a victim into giving up their personal information. So the mainly they will do is like emailing the victims and then claim to from some like organization and victim like with trust. You see always like UPS, Amazon. Nowadays not only email but also message. So they will try to do. So it's more like generally is a process to reaching out to as many people as possible. So they don't know who are they, but just like try to who those believe they are real, then they will enter their personal information. So hoping enough people to respond. So more target people attack, they will spread the phishing environment. So this is how it works. And we see the spyware. So it will be a software can monitor activity on the computer. So they may involve like taking some screenshot, or probably logging the keystrokes. Of course, nowadays not only screenshot, but compare video they sending to their destination. Okay. They can have some like legal or illegal application. This it happened to the cell phone, especially the Android phone, before they share the free software, and then you can download the APK, install it. No, because in the industry, because some company they want to share their application like in the form as an APK, then they don't have to upload it to the Apple Store, not the Play Store. And then if some people like try to change it or inject certain functions to monitor the activity, then is that possible? And because Apple, they always need to upload their application to their Apple Store, and then after their inspection, validation, and checking, then they will make it public. So it's slightly difficult. Long time ago, they still allow third party like to change or install the third party application on the iPhone, but nowadays it's really hard. They have more strict on it. But Android right now is still okay. Even if you download some third parties APK, then you can still able to install on your Android phone. So it's still possible happen for the spyware. But they can able to like access your cameras, access to your storage, and they can all lock your content. So in case if you download, let's say there's an app is for shopping, okay, so you download it, but you didn't know that they inject certain functions and then keep checking. So once you open, they will check, okay, if you open a bank app, okay, so they will start to work on, okay, so where's your username, what's the password, or anything you input, so they can try to store your information. So right here, they will also give you some email like right here, okay, please find attach the invoice the past few months, they give you, and then give you the content. Then you need to maybe as you don't reply it, or you when you click on it, then you receive something, okay. And then one more, we talk about the discard information. So is there any other method that allow a hacker to get an information? So about the personal identity. So they often just refer to dumpster diving, and then share documents before they are throwing them out to avoid the identity thief. So this one, just be careful, because it did happen. I think for some celebrity it happened. So I heard as well, I know, because they will, when they trash or dump the stuff, throw the stuff away, but they forgot. So they always check, looking for their dumpster or trash bin, and then try to search like what the information. Okay, so just be careful this part. And then how the identity that affects the forensic. So look for the spyware on the victim's machine, and then if the spyware exists, then we search for where the spyware is sending its data. Most of the time when they install the spyware, they will have a destination. So we need to look at it and then check, okay, did they put the server IP address, API address? Then we can chase it based on the address, then we are able to find, okay, maybe let's say the periodic emails with the attachment or stream of the package to a server. The criminal has assets too. So you see, Or maybe for phishing, we can check the email history on the victim's computer as well as the web history. So all this we can do. And one more thing is hacking. We hear a lot. And hacking is a generic term that means like breaking into a system, and most of them they often like perform remotely. This one we heard of hacking with the SQL injection. So the most typical way nowadays is really hard, but you just need to know. So when we try to select certain content from the tables, and then with the let's say username, and then if they at the content like username and text and password like this, or when they specific the username and password, they wear the username this user or like the password let me in something like this. And then with the injection, as we know, we can using the or condition and inject, so it always a match, then it always work. Okay, of course nowadays all the software application they already check the content. If they include certain injection, they will reject your SQL query. So it's really hard to do it nowadays. And if we talk about hacking, and then also they can do it like cross-site scripting. So the perpetrator seek out the like some place, let's say on the target website, and then allow the end user to post the text that allow maybe the other user can receive, such as a product review. Okay, so instead they just say posting a review or like other text, then they can post a JavaScript. And if the website does not filter user input before they display, then other user will navigate to this review and the script execute. If you remember, if you're taking the cybersecurity, I show you what the XSS attack. So for the XSS attack, I include 3 types. We have the DOM reflected, right? So all this is a part of it. So there exist the vulnerabilities. So to let the user have, and then we try to add some like encapsulation or paraphrase, rewrite the content. Okay, so let the content change to plain text. So that's how we try to avoid it. Okay. Off track. And then how about the off track? So when the Windows push up, then the system locks the sent file, SAM file, so it cannot like be copied or edited. But if the hacker they record the article to boot then to a Linux live CD, and then they would compare the rainbow table against same file and then search for some matching password. So then they will display all the password they find. So it's able to get when we log. So we're able to see and get the user account and then password. So right here is the examples, and they will say, okay, administrator, and then with some hash and then guess, okay, here's the password. So you can see the hash and encryption. That's how they get it. So that's the result. Okay. For the cyber stalking and then the harassment, so they were using some like electronic communication to harass or threaten other people. And then the criteria for the law enforcement officer, we think, okay, so how is it possible, or is the offense like credible, or how frequent, or even like how serious is it? I think nowadays it's always happen. Maybe maybe when the victims they always suffer from this. And maybe stalking, or they think, no, is it really stalking? Or I think sometimes they do have a gray area. So just like be sensitive, be aware, okay, and also like record all this possible stalking, cyber stalking, and harassment. And the next one is the computer fraud. So if any attempt to gain a financial withdrawal through the deception, then we can call it a fraud. Okay, and for this one, we including the like investment offer or some like data privacy. So all these can be the subclasses of the fraud. Okay. And the next one is the non-access computer crimes. So the crimes, they do not really involve an attempt to actually access to the target. Let's say the DDoS, we say denial of service. So brings down or virus or logic bombs. before we did cover like some certain attack. So all these, they are not really access your computer, but they just make your service down. So maybe cause your financial loss by yourself. Okay. And for the DOS and attack, so there was like 3 ways of handshaking. So they would try to for the client machine, they would send a TCP package to the server of the synchronized flag, and then when it turn on, and then the server acknowledge the request to the synchronized, then they were sending back the TCP package with the 2 flags turn on, and the acknowledgement ACK, ACK flag, and then the synchronized flag, so SYN. This, and then client respond for a single ACK flag acknowledgement. So they will start the communications. That's how it works. And when we starting to doing the DOS attack, then we over synchronize flag. So they will keep sending the package. That one is the SYN, the synchronized, and then but they never respond to the synchronized acknowledge it received from the server. So it just keep sending. Eventually, so servers have so many open connections, but it can no longer respond to the legitimate user. So it's how it works, like for the DOS. And then we have one is that when we have multiple, we have the DDNLs is really similar, because if we only have one attack, maybe it not really hurt your computer, but you have multiple. You have the DDoS doing, then we have more open connections. And here's got the low obvious iron candle. So here's a local example you can use, and then we set the URL, and then with the IP once we log, and then it says we are ready, then we can set it. And even we can have some using some devices just running a script. So we actually, you can see the interface right here. I just pretend keep sending the scripts to the destination. Of course, if you can using maybe JS file, Python file, maybe PHP or any file, or you can write your own application. Just keep sending the package, yeah, without time limit. So you can keep repeating sending. So it can cause DOS. So DOS, and be careful. Like always, when we learn, we know the method, and be careful. Like we need to do it like with the ethicals, yeah, just like for education with a limited time. Okay, and then one more is the virus. So any software itself can be self-replicated, just like a human or animal virus. Pretty similar. There's so many reasons, but it's really long time ago. For example, this is spam came over as the one protect or lucky. So it's some ransomware. So all this will be some possible virus. Actually, now there's more a lot. Okay, and one more we talk the logic bombs. Maybe you heard about that. We talk. So they will be the malware designed to harm a system when some logical condition is reached. Okay, so they often trigger like based on some specific date or time. So that's why we say a bomb also it will explode when we trigger a certain specific date or time. Okay, so this one is really hard to explore or figure out until it really happened, because after you got some malware injected to your computer, they never execute until they check the time. Okay, let's say you said after maybe 3 days later. So all this also possible like disappear a logic bomb, like for the Trojan's horse. So they flew a backdoor or some gateway, then injected, and they never execute immediately. Okay, so this one we call the logic bomb. And then the cyber tourism, and then so it's an unlawful use of the internet to perform a terrorist activity. So it can be some include large scale like disruption of the computer network. Including the one is a China Eco Union. So their group like consists of several thousand Chinese hackers who are like their goal is to like infiltrate a Western computer system. That's always happen, maybe including China, Russia. So you know all these countries, they are like doing this. Okay. So far here we go for go through all the really some like common computer crimes, and then the forensic approach to this like different type of simple and pretty straightforward. And then those strategy based on specific crimes, so we talk about that. And coming, I give you some exercise, like help you to better to know what are the crimes. Here are the questions. I also post it to the quiz. So it's more like it's a online quiz I made available, so you can see it. I give you almost a week time, so you can finish it. No time limitation, so all the questions right here from question 1 to question 10, and you can choose like based on this description, so what they belongs to. And most of them, they just are multiple choice. Just be careful, only one is multiple. Okay, so you need to figure out, okay, you can look at the point, then you'll know which one you can have multiple answer. So it will be from 1 to 10, so you can look at it. As a second read, and just like slightly warm up and go through some detail. Later I will add the app some practical exercise. We can do some investigation and then try to do some diagnosis. So this I'm going to do, and that's it for today's class, and that's it. Thank you.